People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full race Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice.
Sunny Hostin, renowned for being one of The View's most fearless and controversial hosts, recently found herself at the center of a scandal so layered with irony, it could easily be mistaken for a Hollywood script. Known for her unflinching stance on polarizing topics like race, reparations, and identity politics, Hostin stands tall as a beacon of confidence, pride, and unapologetic truth-telling. She's never one to shy away from speaking her mind or challenging the status quo, always ready to call out injustice when she sees it. The very foundation of her brand rests on her passionate commitment to racial justice and her portrayal of moral righteousness. When she made her appearance on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show where celebrities delve into the stories of their ancestry, the expectations were sky-high. Her followers eagerly anticipated a family history that would align perfectly with her powerful public persona. Many hoped for a tale of deep-rooted activism, or perhaps an ancestor whose life embodied the struggle for justice and perseverance. But what transpired left everyone, including Sunny, in utter disbelief. As the genealogical research unfolded, Sunny discovered a family background that not only took everyone by surprise, but stood in stark contrast to her long-established narrative of moral superiority. The revelation was nothing short of shocking, challenging the very ideals she had so proudly championed. The revelation sent shockwaves through the online world, leaving both Sunny and her fans utterly stunned. What exactly had she uncovered? Let's just say, this plot twist is one you won't want to miss. If you're all about juicy Hollywood revelations, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons now before we dive into this explosive discovery. As Sunny Hostin sat across from the renowned genealogist Henry Louis Gates Jr., eager to uncover the truth about her family's roots, she had no inkling that the bombshell about to be dropped would shatter her entire narrative. What was meant to be a journey of enlightenment, maybe even inspiration, quickly turned into a jaw-dropping moment. To her shock, Sunny's ancestors weren't the struggling immigrants or oppressed minorities she had always believed. In fact, they had a much darker past. They owned slaves.
I'm a little bit shocked. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard that correctly. After years of passionately denouncing the atrocities of slavery and advocating for reparations, Sunny Hostin's world was rocked by a shocking revelation, one that directly tied her own family to the very system she had been fighting against. The discovery left her in a state of disbelief, discomfort, and utter surprise. Struggling to grasp the gravity of the situation, she hesitantly admitted that she never imagined her family had any ties to Spanish ancestry, let alone slave ownership. Her words came out in an awkward rush, as if she couldn't quite reconcile them with the reality she'd always known. The room fell into an eerie, heavy silence, leaving you wondering if your screen had frozen. Henry Louis Gates Jr. paused too, allowing the weight of the moment to sink in. True to her composed nature, Sunny tried to regain her composure, attempting to turn the situation into a teachable moment, mentioning how she could share the story with her kids in the future. But then, the chaos ensued. Fox News' Greg Gutfeld wasted no time diving into the debacle, and, oh boy, the impact was immediate. What a turn of events. Greg Gutfeld clearly earned the title of Master of Irony, and if there were an award for delivering it flawlessly, he would have taken the prize. Sunny Hostin's ancestors were slave owners, he declared, setting the stage for a perfect zinger to kick off his segment. It was akin to discovering that a vegan restaurant owner secretly runs a barbecue joint. As the audience erupted in laughter, Greg didn't hold back. He's skillfully deconstructed the layers of hypocrisy, drawing attention to the glaring contradictions. For someone who has built a career pointing fingers at others for their historical misdeeds, Sunny's sudden silence on the unsettling truths of her own family history stood out like a blazing neon sign. Greg couldn't resist calling out the irony. Next time Sunny brings up race on The View, someone will be sure to remind her, "We're not racist slave owners, at least." The crowd responded with more laughter, but Greg wasn't just there for comedic effect. Beneath the biting humor, he went after something deeper. Instead of taking responsibility or offering any thoughtful reflection on her family's dark past, Sunny's reaction, or lack of one, felt like a dismissive shrug, as if the shocking discovery was simply something to be brushed off as just another inconvenient fact of life. Greg Gutfeld wasn't alone in his disbelief. When the shocking news dropped, social media erupted into chaos. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with reactions, many of them downright scathing. One tweet boldly declared that the biggest narrative shock of the year was none other than Sunny Hostin's revelation that her family had owned slaves.
Every now and then, one of those dingbats inadvertently says something that reveals modern liberal thoughts so perfectly it deserves further study. You know, like a weird serpent that washed up on the beach and you want to...
The meme game was equally fierce, with one of the most viral creations spoofing Sunny, accompanied by the biting caption, "Reparations? I'll write that check to myself now." Supporters of Sunny quickly came to her defense, arguing that she shouldn't be held accountable for the actions of her ancestors. "You can't blame her for what people did decades ago," one fan wrote, attempting to shield her from the backlash. But not everyone shared that sentiment. One commenter countered, "It's not about blaming her for what her ancestors did. It's about the hypocrisy of shaming others while conveniently ignoring the skeletons in her own closet." But Greg Gutfeld wasn't finished. He took the moment to broaden the conversation, using Sunny's revelation as a launching pad to critique identity politics as a whole. His argument sparked further debate, amplifying the ongoing clash between those who seek accountability for past wrongs and those who argue that such issues should remain firmly in the past. Greg didn't stop there. He went on to argue, identity politics oversimplifies complex issues. He warned that these kinds of narratives could easily backfire. According to Greg, when people focus too much on race and genealogy, they risk overlooking the nuances and personal context that define a person. Political analyst Lawrence O'Donnell weighed in, taking the conversation even further. "This is the consequence of being too fixated on race," he stated. "Eventually, it backfires because you lose sight of the individual, the details, and the broader perspective." O'Donnell's critique hit home, particularly in the case of Sunny Hostin. Shifting the focus to personal accountability, O'Donnell emphasized that what matters most is who you are today and what actions you take now, not who your ancestors were. This line of thinking led some to question whether Sunny, who has long been a vocal advocate for exposing historical wrongdoings and promoting accountability, was now facing a moment of personal reckoning. For years, she has led discussions on the importance of addressing the past, but now the tables had turned, and some were asking if it was time for Sunny to look inward. As the scandal unfolded, the 5-panel hosted by Greg Gutfeld had a field day with the situation. One of the co-hosts asked, if Sunny has spent so much time condemning descendants of slave owners, does she now have to condemn herself? The question echoed through the room, leaving many to wonder, could this be the moment that challenges Sunny's own narrative?
I make fun of The View a lot, but that's only because they keep talking. Those hens are always clucking. They get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, and then I get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, except on purpose. But every now and then, one of those dingbats inadvertently says something that reveals modern liberal thought so perfectly, it deserves further study.
One observer pointed out the irony of Sunny Hostin's deep entanglement in identity politics, especially considering she didn't seem to fully understand her own identity. While the internet quickly turned the revelation into a viral joke, some critics saw it as a missed opportunity for Sunny to have a more meaningful and introspective conversation. Instead of dismissing the discovery outright, she could have embraced the moment to reconsider her stance. This revelation could have sparked a deeper, more nuanced discussion about identity, history, and the complexities of both personal and ancestral responsibility. To be blunt, Sunny could have responded with something like, "I've just learned something shocking about my own family, and it's forcing me to reevaluate how I approach these conversations going forward." Had she shown more vulnerability and openness, the situation could have become a powerful learning moment for both herself and her audience. But instead, it felt more like a quick shrug, an attempt to brush the revelation aside without fully grappling with its implications. Even her co-hosts on The View seemed at a loss for how to navigate the awkward situation. Whoopi Goldberg, known for her sharp wit, might have been tempted to crack a joke like, "Sunny, do you want me to grab you a coffee? Or should we ask your slave-owning ancestors for a refill?" The tension in the room was palpable. No one seemed to know exactly how to respond to this bombshell, and the discomfort was evident as the group struggled to find the right words in the face of such an uncomfortable truth. The moment highlighted just how complex and difficult it can be to confront the uncomfortable truths of both personal history and the legacy of identity politics. At its heart, this isn't just about Sunny. It's a cautionary tale about the perils of self-righteousness and the need for humility. The complexities of history are messy and uncomfortable, and they touch everyone. After spending a lifetime searching for racism, sometimes it comes back to haunt you. For Sunny Hostin, it was quietly waiting in her family's past. The irony couldn't be clearer. The View is notorious for endless chatter, and while they spend an hour each day spouting nonsense, sometimes one of their comments exposes the flaws in modern liberal ideology. What's next for Sunny? Will she take responsibility for this awkward revelation and open up to a real conversation? Or will she continue pretending nothing's changed? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this story will linger for a long time. It's already sparked debates, laughs, and countless memes. The next time Sunny makes a moral argument, this incident will inevitably resurface, reminding her that she's no stranger to the complexities of her own family's history.